This is the Brian McCarthy Interview Show. If you're under 18, don't listen. Having said that, the show is really awesome. And if you did listen, no one would really know. But don't listen. Don't listen, kids. Okay? Don't listen.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios aprietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos.
Enfants du monde, détournez les yeux et bouchez-vous les oreilles. Le programme suivant, bien que spectaculaire et divertissant à tous égards, n'est pas pour vous. Veuillez vous détourner et jouer dans les Champs-Élysées ou peut-être dans les catacombes humides de Paris, car devant vous se trouve la ruine. Vous avez été prévenus, s'il vous plaît. N'écoutez pas, et pourtant, sachez que nous faisons tout cela pour vous, car vous êtes l'avenir et vous êtes la lumière. Que Dieu vous bénisse et dit bonjour à votre mère de ma part.
Brian McCarthy Interview Show. Adam is now drinking his Coke. Disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy Interview Show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink.
Look at that. If you notice the background, we are back in the home office here in beautiful Lebanon, Pennsylvania. So welcome.
Champaign, Illinois.
That's right. If you lived here,
Pueblo, Colorado.
If you lived here, you'd be homo by now.
Any place where you send mail-in rebates. That's where we are.
Pueblo.
Pueblo.
I wonder if that's near Durango.
Could be.
Yeah, probably down there. You can put a foot in all four states. Yeah. Maybe not a foot, but unless you have 4 feet. Yeah. Or giant feet. Everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Brian McCarthy, and sitting to my stage right is Adam Heinecker, and we are so thrilled to be with you here. For the past 7 weeks, it feels like 8 weeks, feels more like 6 months. We were living because we had a flood from our upstairs neighbors.
I mean, I wasn't living there. Adam, you make it kind of sound like
I was right in the middle. I'd reach
you
over.
Imagine?
Sometimes in the middle of the night, Adam would wake up. I would just be sucking them off right in the middle of the night.
Looking for wanted live-in au pair for girls in their late teens.
Yeah.
/ but then also you do a podcast once a week.
Yeah. And then exactly. And then I just write must be into kink and then # bareback. Yeah. Just all of the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
So we were living in this like rental apartment thing for the insurance, and we got in here on Wednesday. We got here on Wednesday, and all the movers came with all of our shit and put everything up on the walls and whatever, and the TVs and the table. We're now on the table. The thing that the computer and the cameras that Adam's fucking with is on the thing. So it's kind of funny because it's like it's not really a renovation because everything just looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, it was it was water damage.
Water
right?
damage. So now we're here, and our stove broke, or was rather, we bought this apartment. It had like kind of an older kitchen in it, and had this like wolf stove that was kind of like on its last legs when we moved in. I mean, you never really know. It's just one of the burners, and you turn it on, it would go click, 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 click. So we just didn't use that burner, but the oven was fine. And then just as we were sort of getting ready to get out of here for the renovations to start, we realized that you couldn't even like bake in the oven.
Oh no.
So I know. So we had a guy come through that, fixes these things. And number one, he was like, oh, this is 35 years old. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then he said to fix it would be like, I don't know, $4,500 or something. Mm-hmm. But it's $100 service charge, which they don't charge you for if you get it fixed. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to spend $4,500 to fix a stove that's 35 years. This seems silly.
Okay, real quick, I got a crazy super chat here.
Yeah, what's up?
From Jimmy I.
What's up, Jimmy I?
Says, looks like he's in Canada. He says, from the annals of show history, the great James Besser died 4 years ago today in 2021. Shit. Isn't that great? One of the best guests ever. I couldn't agree more. Man. And for just in that vein, we should play the James Besser Memorial ringtone.
Can we please just play the ringtone?
Of course.
Thank you for reminding us of that.
Here, right?
Hey, by the way, the guy that introduced me to James. I mean, sort of introduced me. I mean, and hung out in the same dog run. I guess we can say that's an introduction. They both sat on the same bench. Howard is going to be coming on the show very soon.
Great.
Just because people want him on the show. So fuck what do I care?
I think he's a fun addition, fun little sprinkling.
He is good.
He's a local kook.
Plus, it'll be after Labor Day, and I want to see if he's still wearing seersucker after Labor Day.
Right.
If he's one of those guys.
Yeah. This one goes out to Jimmy I.
Here we go.
What's your language? Please, excuse me. I'm a guest. It's hard work, okay? I've been diagnosed with a musical talent, superior intelligence. That was, anyway, sarcastic. You didn't pick it up. Excuse me. I need an extra 2 minutes. And you're the moderator. You're Chris Wallace. Now, I'm a guest. I'm doing this for free. I'm doing you a favor. And then you said something about about my weight. This is inappropriate. People keep breaking my boundaries like you all the time, asking inappropriate things, making inappropriate comments. I have strong boundary issues. I told you before I came on the show, there were certain topics, and especially my mental health. This is absolutely off bound. Watch your language, please. Excuse me.
And that, the funny thing is that was all within the first 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
of the first show that he was on.
And I will say, to honor the deceased, I think he had a brilliant idea with regards to male prostitutes, which was, if you remember, if you want to get in the Wayback Machine, what he would do is he would go on such websites that I've never heard of, like rentboy.com. I've never heard of. And he would go on there and he would see his favorite guy or somebody would be traveling in New York, maybe coming from Sweden, and he liked big blonde Nordic looking guys. He liked gay Viking sex was what James was into. And so he would look and he would go, oh, this guy's in New York for a couple of days. So then he would find him on social media and he would say, hey, I know you're in town. I know that some David Geffen or some Barry Diller or somebody flew you in here to smoke crystal meth out of your asshole and party and play and, butt fucking and everything. But while you're here, if you want to make a quick $200 or $100 or whatever, why don't I maybe come by my apartment and you can let me give you a massage or I don't know, whatever he's into, blow him or whatever. Everything's falling down. The camera just fell. I mean, the light just fell. Did anything break? Nothing broke. Wow, it's amazing. Sorry, we're a little rusty here. Back in the old apartment. So, all right, Adam's adjusting the light. Oh, there's Bella. Hi, honey. There's my daughter. We're all moving back into the apartment today. So everyone's I was here already in the morning and we filled our car up with a bunch of stuff and I unloaded it and I put most of it away. And now my wife is here with Bella and it's kind of a mess, but it's fine. It's a big enough apartment, but they'll be over there and we're fine. Anyway, so what James would do is James would say, hey, while you're in town, why don't you come up here for $200 or whatever? And I mean, it was a really smart thing. If you think about it, he
would just kind of piggyback on
Yes, because he couldn't afford. Although I remember James telling me that his family was very, very wealthy.
Yeah.
He was from Vermont, which was
really,
yes.
Okay.
Or at least they moved to Vermont and his parents were still alive and he passed away. Mm-hmm. He was in his mid 60s, I believe, when he passed away. So, So
my theory on him was, I think, from
he was
well-to-do.
All right.
I had an inkling, but I think he was like the fuck up son of wealthy people.
Yes.
And I think he had been just given so many chances.
I believe so.
That, he kind of, but he had worn out his goodwill.
Yes. And also, look, I know a fair amount of wealthy people that are real fuck ups. Their parents are wealthy and a lot of times what they'll do is, I'm thinking of two people in particular, they'll just give them money to stay away from them.
Yes. Yeah. It's like an allowance. Think of it as,
they'll say, look, I'll put you in an apartment. We'll give you this, whatever. But at the same time, understand that, we love you, but this money's not, we don't want you around.
Yes.
And also for James, unfortunately, his mental illness really, was really the catalyst for a lot of this. Because if you remember, he came into the show one more time, but he was really medicated.
How could I forget? Yeah, he had
white
he had
spittle.
shaven, but he had like patches.
Yes.
So he's like clean shaven, but then he would have little. I mean, he
Yeah.
looked like
And he
as
had-
much of a mental patient as one could be.
Yes, he had like white spittle around his mouth. I was like, "Are you cosplaying?" Because you're doing a great job.
Yeah, no, he was completely. I mean, he
Yeah.
was.
His eyes were vacant.
He was on so many things that were just tamping him
Yeah.
down. That
And but he was cognizant of it because I remember him saying like, "Hey, I'm not any fun right now. I know." So,
Yeah.
but then what was great about him is earlier, like maybe a week or two before, I ran into him right on the street, and he was positively ebullient because he was carrying a book of, if you remember this, a book of Shakespeare's like sonnets
Okay.
that he was going to give to a male prostitute. Because remember that?
Maybe he was going to give them to Giovanni. I feel like remember Giovanni, the skateboarding
Yes.
rent
Yes.
boy,
Yeah, the skateboard Giovanni, the skateboarding
who
red
was
boy.
like, in his 30s, but sort of
Yeah. I mean,
kind of masqueraded like the boy next door. But he apparently showed up with like a longboard. That was the guy that when he went into James's apartment, he was like, I cannot work under these circumstances.
like
and so they tried to go to a hotel, but then we were actually trying to get a refund.
yes.
Remember, I was trying to
Yes.
call Giovanni
Yes.
on the show to get a refund for my uncle James.
Yeah. By the way,
Who-
like his poor parents are like, they have to be in their early 90s at the earliest. And here they are, like their son's calling them. They're like, I'm in a mental hospital and I spent all my money on Giovanni, the middle-aged skater rent boy.
Yeah.
I need money for meat.
It's
So,
just, I
anyway,
mean, you
wow.
couldn't create a character.
And
You had 100 years, like
Jimmy-
James Besser.
Jimmy Eitel, I will say what I often say. Some things, just like Brandon, are too beautiful for this world.
They are. They really
So,
are.
anyway, so there you go. 4 years. Well,
I had a funny
Go ahead.
memory the other day of speaking of Brandon. Do you remember when Brandon died?
Well, I mean, yeah. I
Okay,
mean-
but you remember I had to tell you that he was dead?
oh yeah, did
But it was wild.
Wow.
I remember I was in my old apartment and I was like, we're gonna do the show
right.
and like later that day. But we were talking about Brandon, something I don't remember what his last name was, but
Park.
Okay, so I
He's
knew
Korean.
I knew his
Wasn't Korean.
first and last name, and I had just because I think at this point we were like, we should try to like get a hold of him or see if he would come up and do the show or whatever. And I just Googled his name,
Right.
and then the obituary came up. It hadn't been but a couple of weeks that he had died,
right.
and then I was like, well, I wasn't sure if I should tell you in person or I never really had to like give a death notification
Sure,
before.
sure.
So I remember I called you and I go, hey. And I said, did you hear anything about Brandon? And you go, is he dead?
Yeah. Well,
And I was like, well, you made this so much. It was like
Yeah.
you made it so easy for me.
yeah. It wasn't like he joined the Coast Guard. I mean, that was the call you
Yeah.
were going to get.
We're going to say, is he a published author now?
No. Yeah. Well, I still think, I mean, Brandon and I, there's so many memories, but the one that really sticks out for me with Brandon is, sorry, there's dogs barking. Hi, guys. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm
It's
sorry.
like the
It's
king
going to
of
be one.
comedy. I'm doing my
I know,
show.
okay. Mom, I'm doing my show, Mom. 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 Did you know the voice was Martin Scorsese's mother yelling downstairs?
I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah,
There
you
you
may
go.
have told me that.
Hollywood Minute. All right. So the thing with Brandon
Mm-hmm.
that really, because, the summer of 1994, I lived in Martha's Vineyard for the whole summer watching my aunt's house. I didn't realize that my aunt was going through a divorce. I mean, I knew that part, but she had hoped, she thought her husband was going to get the house. So she hoped that I would burn the house down. She was
wow.
so
she
she-
was like, "This is this
yeah,
is as close to arson.
pretty much. This is
I
like,
could sort
yeah.
of like just get the ball
She-
rolling."
yeah. She's like, here's the house. Here's a bunch of oily rags and some starter matches. And I will see you later. And so anyway, so I was in charge of her house for the summer. So 2 times that summer, Brandon came up from New York to, visit. And, the one time he came up and, we ran around, and that was when the girl from the Real World, the kind of country girl from the farm, I dated her for like, not dated is a strong word, but I was,
Right.
she was like working on one of these Martha's Vineyard has all these like little weird hippie farms. They're small. They're like 10-acre farms.
Mm.
You know, they're barely even a fucking farm. But they have these little things where like you can come and you sort of work there for the summer. You know, you get paid a little bit of money and you go to, you know, you sell tomatoes at the farmer's market for like $14 a tomato or something. But everyone kind of lives together in this farm. So this girl, she was on the first season of The Real World, and she was one of the like farm workers.
The first season,
yes,
the original season. Was she with Puck? Was that Puck's season?
Probably. She was like she was the real country girl. She was like from like Alabama.
And you don't remember her name?
No, but if you saw a picture of her, it would come. She was like I don't know, because I remember like
those early seasons. Like that was a big deal.
It was a big deal. She was, because I met her in that capacity of like, I met her at that farm. I know the farm wasn't too far from where my aunt's house was, and somehow I met her, and I was like, you know, I was kicking it to her, you know, a little bit, trying to see trying to get something going, you know. And she was kind of like, well, we're having a party tonight at the farm, and Brandon was coming in that day. So Brandon showed up, and I think Brandon and I like drank like, I don't even know, like a gallon of vodka each.
Right. A handle.
And they had and they had a bonfire, and Brandon and I were drunkenly running through the bonfire. Like we're trying to jump over it, but it was so big that we were just running through the flames. And at one point, like Brandon caught fire, and we rolled him around. I'll put it this way: these hippie farm worker kids were horrified by us. So, do you see what I'm talking about?
Do you remember was she from Michigan?
First
Pennsylvania.
Season, she had like a southern accent.
Okay, so she had something. All right, so I'm looking through it. Like says individually, it has like the whole Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes,
Julie Gentry.
Yep, that's one.
Okay.
Yep.
Julie, a Southern girl, is an aspiring dancer.
She's not the one that had AIDS.
Though her father wants her to study to be a computer expert. That's such a funny, like, I want you to get into computers.
You've got to learn Windows.
Yeah.
No more dancing for you. That's the devil's dandruff.
Okay.
So anyway,
I don't remember this cast.
But the really funny thing about Brandon, that I remember that trip, was that the next day, now I know I've probably mentioned this before, like everything else, shout out to Freeman. Is if you want to find, I don't know how many cities, it probably works, and most big cities this work, but what you do is you find like art gallery openings, because they always have open bars.
Okay.
So
wow.
Yeah, it's good smart. So for example,
like
in New York, like West Chelsea has a lot of galleries. So on a Friday night, if you are on some sort of a list, or you go online or whatever, you find art galleries, you go to a couple openings, and they're going to have like, little cheeses and poo-poos and whatever, but also open bar. So you can get a good base coat on. So when I was younger, like 1920s when I went to 220, probably up until I was 45. You could go to these things and you get a little base coat on of free wine, and you stand around, and then you just go off and do whatever.
Those little theater cups, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and
you might get a full size.
You get it. No, right? they want you to buy some. They want you to buy some art. So
they'll give you a nice Chardonnay.
It's flowing. But what's great is but on Martha's Vineyard, they have these galleries, but these galleries, they're not in like. They're in like, reclaimed barns, or they're in like, some sort of, bucolic hill in Chilmark or something. And so Brandon and I knew of a couple of art gallery openings, and we went out, and we thought it would be funny if we went naked. So we didn't have any clothes on.
Wow.
And we thought it would be, and in Martha's Vineyard, you could hitchhike. And you can still kind of hitchhike, I guess, but people hitchhike all the time there, because it's a small island, and people know each other or whatever. So Brandon and my aunt lives down this long, like it's almost like a half a mile of like a dirt road. You leave the house, you walk up the dirt road, you get out to the Old County Road, which is it's the big kind of whatever. It's a two-way road that's at the end of and you just stand there with your thumb out and everything else out, apparently.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And then people would pull over. So this mom picked us up with like 3 kids in the car, and Brandon and I we're naked. We didn't even have shoes on. We said
probably thought that like you had just come from a crime. Was they you know what I mean?
It was like 94, so it was like counterculture enough where people just, I don't know, for some reason people thought it was funny. I cannot believe that we thought it was a good idea. And we were also on acid, because I
remember I remember you telling a story about being on acid
with Brand. Yeah, there was
nude.
That was at a nude beach up in Gayhead.
I feel
Boy,
like that's a good way.
boy, was I disappointed.
I feel like that's a
It's-
good way to end up in some kind of drunk tank or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Being-
yeah, 100%. Totally. By the way, now that beach is called Aquina because the Indians got it back.
Okay.
But you know what they say in Martha's Vineyard about the Aquina tribe? Are you ready for this one? I'll be very delicate about this.
Mm-hmm.
They call them the Monig tribe because they
Monig.
are Mo Nig and then anything else. Do
Okay.
you follow what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do they mean that figuratively or like physically?
There's been a lot of
dark.
I just mean there's been a lot of interbreeding.
Oh.
So
Why does
Marth-
that make you more?
So put it this way,
Yeah.
because you know how, like when you say you're Indian, right? You
Yeah.
can be like 30% Indian, and you're considered like a full Indian or something like that.
Got
There's a
you.
percentage of Indian that you can be in your DNA where you're considered like enough Indian to be a member of
Right.
that tribe. So this very derogatory term for these Indians,
Sure.
the Aquina tribe, was they would call, because of Martha's Vineyard, like when Spike Lee and Obama, there's a big black population. There's a big like wealthy, it's called the Inkwell. And there's a big in Oak Bluffs. There's an area of
Mhm.
Martha's Vineyard where it's like all the black people go vacation. It's been like that for 100 years. It's always been, it's a very tolerant, liberal place. And it's wonderful. It's great. Water is fucking freezing, but and there's deer ticks everywhere. So I don't recommend it.
I just want to say I'm not gonna make a joke about them being black and not getting in the water anyways.
No, don't. Yeah, they're not.
I wouldn't.
Doesn't seem to bother any of that.
It's not a thing I would do.
No, they're like, we could drown in a.
It's right there.
Yep.
But I'm not
You know
gonna
what?
do it.
You're not better than that, but you're better than that. At least right now you are.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so the again, this horrible derogatory term for the Indians was they call them Monigs because they're
And
really
is that way but that act
go
the
ahead.
Monig, is that a play on a real?
Yeah, no, they are more N-word.
Yeah,
than,
right, but-
hold on. They are more N-word than anything else.
Here's what I'm
meaning-
asking.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Okay,
just finish.
go
'Cause then
ahead.
maybe I'll finish. Maybe I'll answer for you.
Okay.
They are more N-word than anything else, meaning they're not even really Indians. They're just black people with a
Oh.
little bit of Indian in their DNA.
Okay. Oh, I wasn't aware. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Got you.
That's the term. So on Martha's Vineyard, they go, I'm a member of the Aquina tribe. You go, oh yeah, the Monigs. Oh, they're more blah 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 than anything else.
Got you. And I guess
It's
and
terrible.
listen, this isn't like I realized like this isn't the joke that I'm curious about, but I'm wondering, is there actual like African lineage there, or because that's the only way it would make sense.
Well, what I mean, also the working class, there have been black people on Martha's Vineyard for
Got you.
150 years or, vacationing or working there or whatever it is. And I think the Indians and the, black people were kind of like the lower class.
Got you. Okay. So I didn't realize that okay. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Cause I was like because like black people aren't known for inbreeding, but I thought that was the joke, but I'm like,
By the
okay,
way,
now I get it.
there's a show title, Black People Aren't Known for Inbreeding.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, that's the other direct. You
Yeah.
want to go real
Right. So
unmelanated
Yeah.
for the cousin fucking,
yeah, no, for sure. No, really real white trash. They'll get in there. But yeah, no. So anyway, so Brandon and I remember this woman pulls over in a minivan and Brandon and I are both butterball naked. And she thought
Oiled up.
she thought it was really funny. And she was like, where are you guys going? And we were like, we're going to this art opening. It's like in this barn, like about 2 miles on this road. And she's like, all right, I'll drop you off. So she dropped us off and we went into the art opening. And like people were like, what?
Well, I
But-
mean, it could almost be like, oh, this is like performance art.
Yes,
like we're
exactly.
in an art.
That's exactly
right?
what it
So
was,
it's like,
yes.
no, we're not indecent. We're avant-garde.
Plus, there's Lucy Vincent. There's
There's Lucy Sunflower,
yeah, but she's so hairy. She's never actually
the hairy
naked.
Ecuadorian
She can be-
OnlyFans girl.
Yeah, she's never actually ever naked. She's fine. She doesn't have to wear clothes
She's
ever.
kind of always
She's-
wearing a sweater.
She's always wearing an alpaca wool sweater and socks. But on Martha's Vineyard, there are several nude beaches where you're allowed to be nude. So, for example, I told you I met Alan Dershowitz on the beach at one time.
Okay, yeah.
So our cover story that we never actually even used was we were at the nude beach and we just left and we don't have any clothes. So
Hmm.
the idea, this was my idea. Brandon's dead, so he can't claim the idea for himself, and why would he want to? But the idea was, hey, if anybody asks us we're just going to say we left Lucy Vincent Beach and we were nude there, and we're just kind of
That makes sense. Yeah, you had like a backstory. I mean, logistically
and front
yeah,
story.
and-
Yeah. And so
wow.
yeah. So we were like that. We were like naked all day
Like that
long.
in
I-
various stages
and
of undress.
I think there are kind of like 3 sort of towns in Martha's Vineyard. There's Edgartown, there's Oak Bluffs, and then there's Vineyard Haven or Tisbury, if you want to use the other name for the town. And those, I think, had we adventured into town naked, we probably would have gotten in some trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you were
we were
you
like
were
kinda-
with the art community.
yeah, we were out in the country a little bit
Uh-huh.
and just wandering
Yeah,
around.
it is so bizarre. Yeah, because if you're in an area where maybe there could be children around, I think that's maybe where you would get into.
This woman
well,
had
the
kids-
lady had kids. Yeah,
and they were all like they thought, and the kids were like 9, 10. They weren't like
Yeah.
little kids, so they were like they thought. I mean,
it was a simpler time.
yeah, it really was. To the mother's credit, she thought it was the funniest thing she's ever seen.
Well, I
She's
bet
like-
it's like a cross between like amusement and like a little concern
Yeah.
of like what's going on with these guys. So
And then one more thing, and then we can move on. I remember right by where my aunt's house was, there was they have these bike paths, right? And they go, so you can get on a bike and you can ride it from, all over the island. And there's a big state forest. It's right behind our house, but you're not allowed to have motorized vehicles on the bike path. So Brandon and I were nude on the bike path, and we were walking down the bike path, and we're just tripping our balls off, And so, and all of a sudden on Martha's Vineyard, they rent mopeds to the tourists. And the locals hate it because people don't know how to ride a moped, and they're dangerous, and people are always dying on mopeds or getting hit by cars, and they're whatever. It's a mess. So there was a guy on a moped on the bike path, and I turned to Brandon and I was like, he's not allowed to be on the bike path. So Brandon's like, I'm going to go get him.
what did you
So-
have fully nude
Yes,
citizens arrest?
Fully nude. Here's Brandon. Like,
Holy
but
shit.
Brandon was like one of those guys who would like wear like a little bit of jewelry though too. So yeah, he had on like a necklace or
Nothing
something.
but a pinky ring.
Yeah,
and a smile
and a tie pin.
yeah.
Yeah, just jammed into his
Like,
belly
what-
button.
yeah. How does he even have a tie clip on
Yeah.
his?
I remember
hair.
he caught up to the guy, and they were like tourists. It was like him and his girlfriend. They were both on this moped, and Brandon's like, "You can't have a motorized vehicle on the." And they were like, "So
Could you imagine a
No.
Fully naked,
yeah,
ethnically ambiguous?
yeah.
Brandon.
just showing up."
It's like I don't even know what's
Yeah.
happening.
Then there was another time that summer. There was another girl that I liked, and I was trying to again
Court
kick
her.
it with her, and I was taken to sort of a convoluted story. I'm sorry, but like there was a guy that worked at the video store. It was this big, heavy set guy, and I would go to the video store periodically. And this guy, I knew he was gay, but Martha's Vineyard doesn't have a gay scene, and he was from a really old family on the vineyard. Like he was from like. And he was a heavy set guy in his like mid-20s, and he was a volunteer fireman. And he liked me because I was from New York, and he kind of thought I was kind of wild, whatever. So he would like for a couple of weeks, he tried to like,
Yeah.
kick it. Like he brought me to his family's house for dinner, and his whole family's looking at me like, "Oh, you're another one of these like summer."
Wow. So you're one of his summer boys.
I'm a summer boy. Exactly. One of your
There's
summer
like
boys.
still a guy living there
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
last summer.
Just tied up to a thing.
yeah.
Sorry, he started developing facial hair, and I grew tired of
Yes.
him
Yeah.
and his mannerisms.
You remember what happened with Brent?
Yeah, everyone's having like clam
Yeah.
chowder,
Right.
not looking at each other. Pass the scrod, mother. Yeah. So, but the guy, he knew the girl that I liked, and I remember the minute I was kind of like hitting on this girl, like he didn't like that, but he brought us to a party. Some party at somebody's house, and this person had a pool in their backyard, and they had a hot tub, and I got in the hot tub, and I was naked
Sure.
in the hot tub, and this girl was naked too, and we were sort of not really necessarily being amorous, but I was 21, and I got very excited about being in the hot
Yeah.
tub.
I mean,
And I remember I got out, and I'm walking around this party with like a massive boner.
holy shit.
And I was completely naked. And I remember like just now, I think about it now, I'm like, I can't believe I did that. But
Yeah.
like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, there's a lot of that in, being in your, especially like late teens, early 20s. I mean, just so many embarrassing things
just
that
butterball
you did.
naked, just
Yeah.
with this big,
But with an erection.
yeah, exactly.
And it's a party.
which is like extra naked.
Did she did you do anything with her
Well, here's the funny thing. Then after
to
that,
take care of the
no, because we were at the
erection?
party, and like No, it didn't. We fooled around like a little bit there. And then I tried very hard, pun intended, to kind of get something going with this girl. And she was going to NYU that summer. She was like high school going into her first year. So then like later on, like in October, I was walking down Broadway down by NYU and I actually ran into her on the street. And then she came that night, she came back to my apartment and she slept over and I didn't do anything with her. It's weird. I don't know what happened, but like like she was like, "Can I stay over because her dorm room is too far away?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she's got in the bed, and then like
nothing happened.
I stayed on the
she
couch.
Truly just
I think I dropped that one. I think I could have 100%. I did not read the room.
It was one of those like, I'm not saying no, but I want you to try. To try harder.
I was kind of like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was never good with those types of.
Yeah, she also was really throwing up a lot of speed bumps when I was on the Vineyard when I was trying to like get things going.
You were completely naked in a hot tub with her,
and then I was naked again.
Imagine where there would be room for any.
You know, do you remember
speed bumps?
Remember the monologuist Spalding Gray? You know who that guy is?
Yeah, I know who Spalding Gray is.
Okay, yeah. So Spalding Gray every year, her father is very involved in the little theater in Martha's Vineyard, and Spalding Gray every year would come up and do, I think it was called Swimming to Cambodia. I think that's his big like monologue, his one-man show, and he would come and do it. So I remember twice, and he would stay with the family. So Spalding Gray was like their house guest for like a month in August. So I remember twice I showed up at the door, closed, and Spalding Gray opened the door, and he's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Hi," I think it was Jen. I don't forget her name, but I was like, "Hey, I'm here to see blah blah blah." And he was like, "She's not here. She's expecting you." And I was like, "No, I'm just in the neighborhood." Meanwhile, it's like a fucking middle of nowhere. I'm just kind of wandering around, and I said, "Yeah, tell her Brian stopped by." And then I stopped by again, and he was like, "You again." And then I was like, "Hey, you're going to kill yourself in about 4 years, buddy."
Yeah, right.
Whatever meds you're on, you should get on more or less. I don't know what, but the cocktail is not happening.
Hey, we got a message from The Truth About De Blasio.
Oh,
which that I've never heard this name before.
I used to live right by his house in Park Slope.
Sure.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Wow, so maybe you know the truth.
Oh yeah. You went to my gym.
Yes. Oh, okay.
All right. What do you got, buddy?
He said, didn't an Irish wizard cast a curse on you for porno? This guy might be unhinged. This could be an unhinged.
I don't know. I don't know.
Super chat.
I'm trying to.
An Irish, this is like a riddle. Didn't an Irish wizard cast a curse on you for porno?
Well, God knows I have a lot of experiences with both Irish wizards and pornography, so I don't really know what you mean. I'm sorry. I'm trying to engage.
Yeah, hey, if you want to be more specific, truth, you can just even put it in the free chat, and I will.
Yeah, you can put it in the free. We don't want to. We're not trying to bang.
We're not trying to take $2 more.
I forget. I don't know. No,
we're playing coy to try to fleece you.
I don't know. By the way, this is the kind of thing where if the guy gives one little hint, I'll probably be like, "Oh fuck yeah, of course, I know what he's talking about." But
it was a few minutes ago. Maybe it pertained to something that we talked about, but it also could be a reference to something you said on a show 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen,
that will happen. People will be like, "Hey," and you're like, "What
the fuck?
How would I don't remember what I said last week. I don't know what I said this morning."
So speaking of last week, I went to Gallagher's last Friday.
That's right. I heard.
I went to Gallagher's.
Yeah, I actually was going to try to make it.
I know. I was disappointed because it was a rare.
I was a little disappointed too.
Where were you, by the way?
I was at home, but I was just working. I had like a new show launch that's whatever. So I was on a bunch of Zoom calls, and then I had to get files by 8 o'clock. Okay. So, but I was surprised because I checked in. Well, I texted you, to say like, "Yeah, I'm going to try to come." And then
that's the place for it.
Go ahead. But then I want to say you texted me back like around 9 or 10.
Yeah, we were there for a while.
Yeah, which I actually could have gone. I just assumed because I didn't hear back because I said, "How's the talent?"
I know. I don't keep my phone.
Yeah, you're probably busy.
Yeah, I keep my phone in my.
You were in the cabana.
In my man purse, so I don't have my actual phone on me. Well, what happened was Joe DeRosa was in town, and Joe was. I've always been talking, he knows about Gallagher.
But he had never been.
Right. So he was like, "Let's go." And I guess his manager lives in Queens. So his manager, they drove out, they were doing something in the city. Joe was staying on the Upper East Side, not too far from where I am right now. And he said, "I'll meet you out there." But Joe's very immediate. So this was it was like I said, okay, when do you want to go? And this was like at
And
4.
he said, "I'm already there."
No, he was
I'm-
he was
yeah,
literally on his way.
right. Yeah, I remember I was
yeah.
leaving as you.
Yeah. You were there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You were here.
You
It
were
was
like leaving him a message as I
Yeah.
was
and
walking out.
so finally I was like, okay, I'm on my way. So I
Sure.
got there in like a half an hour, and he was already there with his manager. And
Oh, his manager was there too.
yes, manager was
Okay,
there too.
all right.
Hopefully I'm not betraying any confidences here. I don't know, but I don't think so. But he was fine. He didn't stick around. The guy was like
Mhm.
there, and then he left. So, but I said hi to him, and he was very nice to me. I guess I've met him a bunch of times. I don't even know. But so anyway, so then it was Joe and I by ourselves, and we were there. And like, look, it was a usual. Here's the thing. Like
Yeah, the usual crew. I feel like we know all of them
yes,
almost by name at
kind
this
of.
point.
It's a little weird. It's a little like
Yeah.
Put it this way. After the last trip, I'm on a break
Really? Okay.
At
'Cause I was
least-
actually just thinking about going.
at least until September 15th.
Okay.
Yes. No, well, it was funny because we went in there and, for the uninitiated, Thursdays and Fridays, they open at noon, and the first shift is like noon to like 8, right?
Mhm.
And then the other shift is, and I can't believe I actually know this, but it's then 7 to close. So if you get there at 5 o'clock, then the kind of people that are working there all afternoon.
It's a buyer's market too, I think, at that
Yeah,
point. Because
pretty
they got 2 hours to
yeah,
make something happen,
exactly.
to make rent.
Yes, yes. And so it was funny. So yes, so a lot of the same people, and hello, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Pleasure,
Yeah, good to
pleasure.
see you.
Hello,
How's the
how are you?
baby?
Yes, how's the baby?
Mhm.
And so we were there for that, and then at a certain point, Joe was, we were hanging out, and I was kind of trying to give him like the lay of the land, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
listen, like, and Joe was remarking, and I don't mean to say anything disparaging about Gallagher's, but let's just say, you don't go there for really the quality of the talent. I mean, that's
Yeah, but I mean that's also subjective.
yes, but it's not like a Sapphire or like one of these city
No.
places where you go.
But it's like,
it's- It's trust me, you don't need to defend Gallagher's to me.
Yeah.
I mean, but you have to know what you're getting yourself into. You're going to a place.
Sapphire's like the tasting menu, but the
Yes.
portions are tiny. It's very expensive.
yes.
It's so that you can
Yes.
post on Instagram about it. But it's
Yes.
not really
It's a whole different price
for me.
point.
It's just like not. It's
it's-
not what I'm looking for.
It's not for me either.
Yeah.
No, 100% Gallagher's but it's also like you have to temper your expectations. And actually part of like the fun of it is some of these people that work there, you're like, I can't even believe you work here. Like, I think it's astonishing that,
Mhm.
I mean, it would opposite of a place where you put more clothes on, perhaps like
Yeah.
a place where you put on like a winter jacket or something like like anti-strip club or something. So we saw like a lot of that. And then,
Yeah, it does get, because I'm only thinking about the good ones, but
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of like just comedically bad, like a Russian grandma with like
yes,
giant
yes,
fake tits
who we've seen
that's always
before.
trying to give you a massage.
Yeah, you want the
'cause
massage?
she knows you don't want to left dance.
Yeah, I have been
Just
going
like-
to Gallagher's on and off for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, she
Be about 19,
Yeah.
probably.
she'll go. She says, she goes, "You've been here before. You've been here before." And then I always go, and I swear to God, 25 years ago, she was 55. So I
Dude,
don't-
she's been,
she is.
I'm with you.
Yeah, she's like, this is where I'll die. I'll leave here feet first in Pine Box. I will leave here.
She's probably got her regulars though,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Her regulars, and then the regulars bring their children, and then the
Their
children bring their
grandchildren,
grandchildren. Yeah,
yes.
it's the whole family tree.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so we're like, I'm with Joe, and we're there. And what happened was, at one point, Joe decides he's hungry, and he's like, "Do they have food here?" And I
Mm.
said, "Yeah, I guess. I
Do
guess."
they even at this point? I know they have that buffet, but
It was too late for the buffet, and they didn't
can
start
order off
serving.
menu.
They didn't start serving food until 7 o'clock,
Oh.
and it was like 6:15. So I had to deal with a hangry Joe DeRosa for 45 minutes.
wow, a hangry,
Yeah. And the host of I'm sorry.
half hard Joe DeRosa.
Well, the bartender wouldn't even like take the order until like she was like she's like, kitchen opens at 7 o'clock. So it wasn't
the guy's probably not even there yet.
we couldn't even discuss, It's probably coming in from the culinary school. It's flying in
Yeah,
from
he's coming in from the La
French
Cordon Bleu.
French Laundry, Napa Valley. It's like, sorry,
because it's just his off day.
Yes.
So they get him to come in and consult.
sorry. Thomas Keller had me pruning squash blossoms.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the woman was like, no. So finally 7:00, and he orders the chicken fingers, which is just kind of funny. So he orders chicken fingers,
It's adorable.
and they take 45 minutes. And about 15 minutes in, he is like really getting like annoyed that they're taking so long. And I just had to turn to him and be like, all right, number one, like, you got to see this is where we are. Like, I mean, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I understand.
You guys never considered popping out, getting lunch, and well, no, because then the clock is, because 7:00 is a shift change.
I don't know what it was. And we were there for another 3 hours anyway. But what was funny, so he was getting
ornery
to the point where one of the dancers came up to me and was concerned. She was like, "Your friend, how he seemed angry."
Oh,
and I was like, "He's fine." I said, "He's just hangry." She goes, "What does hangry mean?"
He's hornery.
I said, "He's hungry and also angry. So his hunger is making him angry. It's hangry." I said, "Don't worry." So literally, we were about to leave. He was like, "I can't be here anymore. I was like, "Listen, just relax. I get it. It's taking a long time, but like, I don't know, you want to leave, we'll leave. I don't really care, but like, let's just stop yelling."
Was he drinking too?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
because
God,
he's a drinker, right? Yeah, so that does give you the real.
So anyway, so
the
it was
munchies
at the ninth inning of the ninth inning, and that was a baseball reference for those international audience members.
Everybody knows there's 10 innings in every inning.
Oh
so,
yeah,
right,
exactly.
Sure.
Unless
there's micro innings within each inning.
Unless there's a hat trick, in which case there's a penalty kick. So essentially, like right at the right when Joe was about to like burn the place down, here comes the woman with the chicken fingers, and he immediately
sizzling chicken fingers.
He said that they were delicious, and I held one up and I looked at it, and they were hand breaded. These were
really,
these were not like Cisco chicken fingers.
Wow, they got out like the panko.
Yeah, that's exactly what
holy
I said.
Shit.
I said, Joe, I bet these were pounded and they were butterflied and they were probably brined in milk.
Sauces. What kind of maybe a honey mustard or something? Nothing to dip.
There was a ketchup with the fries.
Oh.
But
there was fries, so he got like a basket.
Yeah, he got like a platter of this giant fried food platter, and he ate it and immediately was in a much better mood. And then we were able to sort of reset the clock a little bit, and now it's like everyone from the day is gone, so now it's nighttime is there, and so it's a different crew. But now everyone's like kind of fresh there, and the collection of weirdos that started, I mean, the girls that work there, by the way.
Yeah, trickling in.
Yes. Well, and they kind of like would just pop up on the stage. And this one girl was Asian, and she looked to be, I don't know if she had like really tall shoes on or what. She looked to be about 6 feet plus tall. And she's wearing this giant, like long, like cape, not on like an Irish wizard. Thank you. And she was carrying around a hand fan, because it was hot, I guess.
Like an electric one, not like one of those.
And she looked like she weighed about 70 pounds. She was like she was like a stick. She looked like a praying mantis. And she was so skinny. And I was kind of like, wow, that's something that you don't see every day.
Yikes.
And then a lot of Eastern Europeans started showing up. And then there was the cadre of Colombian, Dominican. But so then we're there, and this one girl comes up to us, and in between there had been some cabana action going on, kind of here and there, just a little, left and right. And this one girl comes up to us, and they were doing something that night, which I thought was really annoying. And Joe was getting very annoyed. I mean, like, it's like trying to like adjust like
you're really threading a needle.
You got to really, with Joe, it's like you almost have to like, it's like finding like an AM radio station. You're constantly like moving the dial.
But like while you're driving through Omaha.
Yeah, in a cave, in a tunnel, in a water, in a under a sea world. So I'm just kind of like, and at one point he was like, "These girls are not even dancing. These are the worst dancers." I'm like, Joe, like, it's like you're at Marshall's and you're complaining that like the bespoke tailor isn't using the right thread for your buttonholes. Right. I mean, it's just this place is a mess. That's what it is.
Yeah,
like,
it sounds like maybe he was not expecting the kind of mess that.
Yeah, but trust me, there's no other way.
Felt like you.
Oh yeah.
Explained it.
And also, like at one point, we looked over and there was an old man who was completely passed out on one of the couches just over on that other side. And I said to somebody working there, I was like, "That guy okay?" And she said, "Oh yeah, that's the owner." So I guess the owner just comes in and he looks like he's about 90 years old and he just falls asleep on a
That
couch
sounds about one of the down in the
down in
like
the
a couple
in
of steps.
in the orchestra pit,
Wow.
if you will. So then this girl. So what had happened was, and I do agree with Joe. This is very annoying, but like, because when you're there, you sit at the bar and it's a big rectangle, and they come by and you have to do like $2. So you're constantly giving $2. Like it's probably works out to be about $50 an hour. I mean, it just kind of does. Like, I mean, because there are always 3 girls just kind of going around and going around and going around. It's just what it is.
Yeah. Sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 1. It depends.
Yeah, but this was a Friday night. You're right.
Okay.
It could be.
Yeah, I'm a Friday.
Yeah,
Right.
and it was getting busy. It was busier. I mean, I think there might have been 30 guys there, maybe, which for that place felt like being in, the Grand Central Station or something.
Yeah.
So there, and Joe's kind of complaining because he's like, my God, we're always tipping. And I said, well, they're on that side. But then what was happening was other girls would come up and they would say, hey, do you want to dance? Do you want to this? You want to that? And we go, no, thank you. And then they would go, well, how about a tip? So they would they would hit you up for like $1 or $2. So you're kind of getting it from both sides. You're sitting at the bar, just trying to enjoy your chicken fingers.
Sure.
Is this Asiago cheese in the blend? I'm getting Asiago cheese. No, is that diced polenta tossed? So anyway, so you're kind of, that's happening on the other side of the bar, but then behind you have these girls come up and they're like, hey, you wanted to give me tips. So this one girl shows up, and I don't mean to be disparaging, but like on a scale of 1 to 10, she was like a 2. She was this little skinny girl, and she had a huge head with a big chin, and she was from like, I asked her what country she was.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, but I asked her what country she was from. She went, guess.
Oh no.
And I was like, I don't know, Moldova. Like I was kind of like trying to think of countries that like they don't really let people have health care. I don't know, like Moldova or Glupakistan or Furkshakapan or whatever. So I guessed a couple of countries, and I said, I don't know, but I really wanted her. And I'm sorry, but I just want her to go away.
Of course.
And she was like, well, how about the tip for me to come over here? And she's like trying to take her top. I was like, no, it's fine. Keep it up. It's okay.
Please keep it on.
Yeah. So
that's when you know you're in the wrong profession, by the way. And people are tipping you to keep your clothes on.
And but she had eyes like a shark, like black.
She had shark eyes.
Yeah, she had shark eyes.
Wind from
exactly.
From John.
Yeah, we're gonna need it. And she was like this unblinking, and she just in a very hard, defined jawline. She big head too.
Yeah.
So goes around, she leaves, and then she comes back, and we give her $2. And then Joe's like, I can't believe she wants $2 again. This is fucking bullshit. What the fuck? What do we do? I was like, Joe, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we have to this is what we're dealing with. Like, it's either this. I kept having to be like, we're not at like a nice place. Like, this isn't a nice place. Like, this is
chicken fingers took 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Though sounds like they came out great.
He said, and I don't think he'll get angry about me talking about any of this because I'm not really saying anything bad about him, but he said they were the best chicken fingers he may have ever had.
What?
I know.
But now I got to go have these chicken fingers.
Well, make sure you
I might go there tonight.
Yeah, hand pounded.
Yeah. Hey,
and then there's the chicken fingers.
Let's blast through some. We got a couple of
what's up, everybody?
Lightning round. Ovo, he's excited because we're talking about
strip
clubs.
Of course.
So
what's
of
up,
course
buddy?
He's going to chime in. He said, Ovo says, you guys should see some of the strippers at in Albuquerque at TD's, formed like a stripper group, and they've been doing car washes and lemonade stands and etc.
That's smart.
Is that for real?
Sounds like it.
Ovo, because that's wild. That's amazing.
Well, you got to diversify.
God bless, but I hope that's real. And then our boy Paul from Merry Old England says,
hey, Paul.
But then he says, hey, it's Ted. It's Ted, our boy Ted, who's actually, he's been on the show before. So everybody knows Ted, knows and loves Ted.
Yep.
He said, hey, it's Ted. Have you been to a British strip show?
I'll tell you where I have been. I was at that Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland, about 20 years ago. And I went to they call them like lap dance parlors.
Sure.
And I went to one with a friend of mine. And I'll tell you one thing. The girl comes up to me and she had like bright red hair and she was like freckly. She was a Scottish girl.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, hey, I fancy a lap dance. And I was like, how much is it? She's like, 40 quid. And I was like, okay. I figured. And then we went into this room and she was like, sit on your hands. So I sat on my hands. And then as she was dancing, I could see like the black light could pick up
the big anchors.
this was like a straight ahead scar.
Oh, because
under-
these were implants.
these
These
were
are not
implants.
the reduction is the angles.
No, these
yeah.
were like
Right.
these were scars. I mean,
Mhm.
so I've been to I don't know, United Kingdom. Never been to one in Britain. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think London's a great like strip club town. Although Peter
Right.
Stringfellows is from there, so maybe Paul Ted, if that's your real name,
Ted
maybe
Paul.
Ted Paul Ted would know. But no, I've been there in Scotland.
Well, I think I went out with this chick from London, thinking that I met on Tinder and thinking that
the black girl,
because she was like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, sorry. It goes.
But yeah,
most recently. I mean, we haven't really.
We don't even get. Yeah, we don't.
Okay,
even,
fair
I
enough.
mean, we can later, but it's. I
Okay.
feel like it's late in the show. But and it was like her thing was like Londoner in whatever, and so you think like Londoner, you think kind of like more posh or whatever,
Right.
But like, and Ted might have some insight into this, but like, it was.
Go
She
ahead.
was very pretty,
Mhm.
well put together,
Mhm.
but it was a little lock, stock, and two smoking, three
Oi.
smoking. I don't know how many
Right.
smoking barrels, but
Uh-huh.
it was a little bit like, like
Oi.
she had some issue with the train and had to like get into a car to get there, and she was running late and
Oi.
blah blah blah. But it was like, like it was
Really?
it was like she was like a soccer hooligan.
Oh,
Which
that's really
I
great.
didn't, but I remembered I worked with this guy who's like a career criminal on this podcast, that
Right.
crime podcast. I was doing,
Yeah.
That
The crack guy.
he was like, no, that's a different guy.
So that was MI5 guy.
yeah, it was Emma. Good
Thank you.
memory. But this guy was like a career like con artist, but then
Okay.
he became an informant, so I knew him through that.
Okay.
But he was like the leader of a biker gang.
Okay.
And he sort of had like that. So I don't know what part of London that is, but it's maybe like North London or something. But it's like it's a little bit rougher
Yes. Well, I mean,
of an accent.
yes. Well, here's the thing, and I know Ted. I mean, I'm going to sort of botch this, of course, but like chav is the term that they use for like it's kind of like white trash.
That's more like
country.
Right,
Little, yeah, they wear
she
like
was definitely not but she was like the city version
Right.
of like
so
like if I feel like if you met a chick, like if you met a girl on Tinder and she was like, I'm from New York, I grew up in New York, but then you found out she was from Bensonhurst,
right.
Brooklyn, New York.
She's like, oh, this
I feel
geezer.
like it was sort of that.
Right.
It wasn't like she was actually very fun. Like,
Sure.
but I was like actually somebody I almost felt like we could be more like pals.
Right. You're right. Yeah. Maybe go have a chippy. Hello.
Yeah.
Let's go have a wee
Like
chippy.
she told me she was going to punch me multiple times.
Okay.
Because I
Right.
couldn't always understand her accent, and I was like, wait, hold on, give me
Right.
that again. I'm like, it's loud in here, and
What?
you have a very thick. She was like, I'm going to punch you.
Is my mouth full of kebab? No, it isn't.
Wild. Yeah.
Pay
Okay, and then
attention to what I'm saying to you.
also, I don't know if I
geezer.
put that one on the. And then Ovo also said at TD's, there's a guy who comes in and always finds a new patron to start talking to if his regular stripper isn't there. Seems like a Brian move.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
hurtful.
Well, I know.
Um,
I think I know. I know what
Would
he
you
means.
talk to somebody if you went into like, say I was going to meet you there, but I was
Well,
2 hours late or something? Would you chat up a day laborer?
I
that
would
was
not. No, I don't. I don't.
hanging out?
Listen, I am lonely just because I need to be looked at all times. So I'm desperately lonely just out of the gate. But I
Mhm.
don't. It's funny because male strip clubs, certainly not Gallagher's, because
Male strip clubs.
well, when I when I go to Manhunter, it's fine. I mean,
Is that
no,
a
but
real
like
place?
no, but like no, but there is like a Chippendales kind of a thing
Mhm.
in the east side, but it's called like Manhunt or something. I don't know.
We should do a live remote.
Like there right now and stop the show and just go. Okay,
No, I mean,
chicken fingers.
Yeah.
How are they? Hey, we should do a thing where we just eat chicken fingers at
Ooh,
all the
we
different.
become food influencers.
Yep.
Like,
Just
but
for,
at strip. That's actually a funny idea.
I wonder.
Review strip club food reviews.
And Ovio, now you can hit this up in the free chat if you want, but I don't know if TD has food or not. That's the Albuquerque strip club for everybody.
Right.
Anyway,
and also Kelly Ripa is their spokesperson.
yeah, she's
Not
still,
unlike TD Bank. TD.
Oh,
It's
she has
also Kelly Ripa.
anything with a T and a D in it. Kelly
Yeah.
Ripa has to be
And
involved.
it's all like Kelly Green.
Yeah.
Oh, and Roy Cohn Esquire writes, Joe DeRosa is a bad friend and a deadbeat tenant. Hi, Ovo. What does that mean?
Goodness gracious, I don't know. I don't
We
know.
don't necessarily agree.
Yeah, I
with
don't know about it.
the
I don't
views
know. I
expressed
think
by
Joe-
Roy
look,
Cohn Esquire.
Joe's a very good friend.
Yeah,
and,
he's a good friend.
yeah, but I also think like you sort of get what like, he's it's fine. I have to sort of accept, with all his foibles, like anybody with me. If you're friends with me, there's things about me that I can't imagine what they
Sure.
are, but there are things that people don't. But I like that Joe. I like Joe for all the right reasons. But so let me wrap up the thing with the.
Okay.
So
All
anyway,
right.
so the girl comes back and Joe's like, I'm going to tell her like to leave us alone and blah blah blah. And I was like, look, I said, why don't we just move? Why don't we just say we're going to leave? Actually, no, sorry. I said, why don't we just leave? Let's just leave because we're out the door anyway. So Joe gets his tab, pays. We go to leave, and then we get to the end of the bar. And then Joe turns and he's like, you know what? Let's just have. And there happened to be these two Colombian girls. I knew they're Colombian after I was talking to them. And then these two Dominicans to the right. And so I was
like a street joke.
We yeah, right.
Two Colombians,
Right.
two Dominicans, and a
Right.
rabbi.
A priest, a Jew, and
Walking
two
to
Colombians
Gallagher's.
and two Dominicans walk into a bar. I own it.
They're on a lifeboat.
Yeah. And so essentially, we kind of get to the end of the bar, right where the security guard sits, right by those little stairs to leave, and I'm like, we sort of stopped there for a minute. Joe's like, all right, let's just hang here. So that we hung there. So then that Moldovan or whatever she was, she walks past us and she sees that we told her we were leaving and we actually just moved down the bar, and she sneered at us. She was like, yee. Like I was like, oh my gosh, she was terrifying. So then we're there, and then this one Dominican girl, she starts talking to us, and she's like, I don't know, blah, 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 but she spoke English very well. And then these two Colombian girls were to the left, and they started to, and they were eating this massive plate of nachos, like
Nice.
huge thing. And they were like, look, I know I have a hard time. I don't like to touch food with my fingers unless I'm really close to a bathroom so I can wash my hands immediately.
Yeah.
A little crazy. Like I cut up a grilled cheese if I eat it at the diner.
Oh, wow.
Matter of fact, I did that in front of Joe later on that same night, and he was making fun of me a little bit because I was like, I don't like to touch my food. Sorry. And
Even
why
if it's bread,
he ordered the
but it's like buttery grilled. I mean, I
Yeah,
get it. I would just wash my hands out.
yeah. I just was whatever. Anyway, but these two girls were like getting into it.
Yeah.
And they were both these two Colombian girls were having a lot of fun. They were laughing. They were speaking Spanish very
God bless.
to each other, and they were eating these. They were having like, it was like you would have thought they were at like a sports bar or something.
Mhm.
And then the one girl turns to me with like her mouth full and like her fingers like glistening with salsa. She's like, you want to dance? And I was like, no, I'm okay.
Oh my God.
No, I'm good. Thank you. And then she's like, do you like nachos? And I said, yeah, I like nachos. And the other girl like scoops
Stop.
this huge thing and she goes like, she makes like an airplane. She
was going to try to be sexy and feed you a nacho.
She was like fucking with me though. It wasn't like,
Okay.
She wasn't being like, oh, daddy, do you like some cheese, some queso for these? Nice, daddy. Do you want some guacamoles? No, she was, yeah, she was like, what?
Go ahead.
Yeah. But she like picked it up and she was just kind of like, she went like in a weird, like she made like a little biplane. She went like, ee. And I said, no. I tried to be funny. I said, the airport is closed. I said, no está abierto.
Yeah.
La aeroporta no está abierto. I don't know the word closed. And I think abierto is open.
Abierto's open.
Okay, good. I don't know close. So, and she looked at me like I was the biggest pussy, and she just turned her little plane of nachos around and just shoved them right into her mouth.
Right.
She was like, you pussy. And then I don't think their English was not great. So because at one point I was like, I'm like, I like nachos, but there's too much stuff on these. I like just like cheese. And they were just kind of like, what? You want to? So then the one Dominican girl was sitting next to us. And then the other one, she stood up and she conservatively, and again, this is fine, but she probably weighed 700 pounds. No, I mean, I'm kidding. But like she was really, really, really big.
She was big.
And there was
big gal.
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen any of those.
There were a couple that night. There were a couple there. There were a couple there that I was kind of like, wow. Like again, there were some girls there that,
but like just big, like not like
to
scooped, as I like to say, like they're all scooped out.
No, to paraphrase my dear friend Paul Dinnan, there's nothing sadder than a fat girl with no tits.
Ooh,
and
I couldn't agree more.
That was kind of there were like a few of those weirdly.
Yikes.
And you were just kind of like, all right.
Yeah, you'll see a fat girl with no ass and no tits too. And you're just like, I don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. Throw yourself off a bridge, I guess. I don't know. But I will say this. Okay, so just to summarize, and Ovio, this doesn't really apply to you because I don't think that you have the same ethnic makeup of entertainers, if you will. But when you're there, the Eastern European, it's the same thing all the time. The Eastern European girls, just stay away from them. Just stay away from them. You really, if you're going to get a lap dance, any of that kind of thing, Dominican, Colombian, that's what you want to go with. That's what, just because the experience is going to be more visceral, let's just say, than these Eastern European girls. And while I'm never admitting to, I never get these dances, but of course not. But there was a Brazilian girl there who you would have thought, if you went to a cabana with, and I just heard this, of course, but if you went to a cabana, it would have been like a wah, 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 wah. It was incredibly tame, my friend said. My friend said it was it was no big deal. And actually this friend of mine told me he was admonished for even being a little handsy, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brazilian, so maybe but this was the after 7 crowd.
Yeah. But this was,
so they might be different rules.
Yeah. Well, they're also like, Brazilians are a wild card because they're not really.
What about there was like a very pretty Dominican girl was there. That's fine. That one that, remember the one that may have,
yes,
like when we were there with your other friend.
Yes,
they may have gotten to know each other.
Yes,
was she there?
I don't know. I don't really know, but there was a lot of action going on. There were a lot of people.
What about my South African friend?
She was there.
I love her.
Yeah, she was great.
I got to go back for her.
She was actually very impressed because I said, how is it working at the United Nations? And she was like, you'll remember. And I said, yes. Then I went, Zulu. No. So anyway, so that is what happened. So with Joe, then we left, and then we were going to go have Korean barbecue, but then Joe didn't want to have to cook it himself. And then I was like, they do it for us. And then he was like,
I mean, you just throw it on. Yeah. I mean, you could do the cooking. Well, but maybe not.
I could do it. I could fucking cook the Korean barbecue. Why not? I could.
You just toss that.
But
you reek when you leave that place.
That was the problem. As a matter of fact, it was Wonder Pig, the place you and I went to a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I've been there several times.
And I did think about that. However, whatever clothes I wear to Gallagher's, I just burn. No, I'm just kidding. But I would launder everything anyway. So I thought about that. I was like, if we go to Wonder Pig, it's called Wonder Pig, everybody.
Pretty good.
So, and by the way, that's most of the dancers.
I think it's like $50.
Something.
Oh, you can, but it's like we're on like Ozempic, so you don't get your money's worth.
They would lose.
That was pre.
Yeah, so we went to this Queen's Diner, which was like another block.
The one right on Queens Boulevard.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I like that place.
Yeah, it was not
pretty
bad.
Good.
It was funny though, because we sat down and Joe was like, what do you think? Like the fried chicken, think it's good here? And I was like, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know if they do it themselves. And Joe was like, well, I like it if they just order it frozen and they just like, they don't do it themselves. Like, he's like, I like what he was calling, it was like cafeteria fried chicken.
Like banquet. Like, you know, that banquet fried chicken, but he wants the real process, but he would rather have it be like uniform.
I don't even know what. And then he was like, I know he's so crazy. I mean, I really do love him. I really do.
This was the second time he was having fried chicken in like 2 hours, and then but he's like,
he goes big. Well, then then he asked me, he's like, do you think the calamari is any good? And I said, well, I'll tell you this, I guarantee the calamari is frozen. I'm sure there's nobody back here. We're not too far from Astoria, but there's not some like Greek guy back there cleaning squid and cutting
that
them
he got from the East River.
Yeah. He's like, from the Aegean Sea, I bring this to you, still redolent of the hand pressed olive oil.
Yeah, diners, you want to go burgers, like sandwiches, like you don't even want to do pasta because it's like they'll overcook it. It'll be gross.
That's why I got a grilled cheese and a cup of matzo ball soup, and that's
what you got to do.
Yeah, but
our boy Ovo, he wrote the TD's does have food at $12 steak and lobster on Fridays.
Oh my God,
that's the deal. But then he also sent 2 more chats. He says the thing about TD's is do not get glass water, bottle only. Thank me later. Is all I'll say. So it sounds like maybe he almost got like human trafficked.
Well, or they don't wash the glasses.
Or it's cloudy.
Yeah,
cloudy tap water.
I don't know if New Mexico. Listen, I don't want to disparage New Mexico because I did spend a week there shooting a very popular television pilot for blind people just about a year and a half ago. Thank you very much. And by the way, I wonder if the lobster has green chilies on it. I'm sure it does.
Probably. Yeah, I bet the tap water has green chilies in it. That's probably what he's talking about.
The green chilies have green chilies on
Green
it.
chili infused Tap
just
water.
everything, which
Yeah.
frankly wouldn't be the worst thing because then at least it would maybe kill any bacteria.
Sure.
Well, I will tell you because I've been to there's that place Highlighter in Phoenix, Arizona, and they do steak and
I
lobster.
almost wondered if he was making a joke about that because he says $12 steak and lobster on fries, but that's actually
No,
probably really maybe it's
that-
a Southwest thing.
That's a thing that's what a loss leader. But I tell you when I went there with that Uber driver
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, the fucking lobster tail smelled like Windex,
Yeah.
like ammonia, like straight up. And she ate
Probably
it.
like frozen in some kind of chemical to preserve it.
Oh God,
and then
yeah.
maybe not rinsed.
What
properly.
you don't think it was flown in from from Cape Town, South Africa that afternoon?
Not for the special,
right?
Off the regular off menu, yes,
Yeah.
but not.
I look over. There's a guy with a cooler. He's like coming in from the airport. He's like, "Hurry, we're losing a $5,000
Right.
on every one of these."
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. If I would, I wouldn't get a glass of water from a strip club
Right.
anyway. I would imagine it's gross.
Yeah, I don't know why, but he just says thank
Okay.
him later. So anyway,
Okay.
we will thank him. He said one patron that was also my stripper gal's regular.
Uh-huh.
One patron that was also my stripper gal's regular.
Yep.
Invited us to his truck to do shots with him. So he said if you guys want to come
Wow.
out to the parking lot, that's a good experience.
I've been to TD's. That's the VIP room.
right.
It's just an F-150.
With the guy with the clipboard
Yeah,
out,
parked,
out
yeah.
front. Yeah.
There's like a little velvet rope.
Taking
with
the house fee.
a midget. I still will never forget when that guy took his shirt off and he was going to fight the other guy. And you knew Albuquerque
Right.
was a small
And
town.
he wanted to like use somebody's like identification to get in.
He wanted me to give him my ID because he was kicked out of the club. And then I was like, listen, you're like 5'4". I'm 5'11". You're I don't know what you are, but you're not Irish, whatever. Like we don't look the same. Let's just put it
Yes.
that way. And then he goes, all right, well then you go in and there's a
Like a back door.
no, there's an emergency exit, and you go over to the emergency exit and you push the door open, and then I'll go into the site, and they'll never even know.
So, but like in his mind, he thought that if he used somebody else, like he's kicked out. Like
Yeah.
you would think that they would visually be able to recognize him.
Dude.
So he thought like just him getting in meant they would go, well, you're in. You must be a different guy.
They're like, Brian McCarthy, you look nothing like this picture anymore. Oh,
Got
you must
quite
have.
quite a tan.
Did you have a glass of one of our tap water glasses that
Yes.
transformed you into a 5'4" Latino or
World-famous tap water?
yeah. Well, that guy was not. I mean, I told you it was like 30 degrees, and he was taking his shirt off, and he's jumping around to fight that guy.
Fun.
I know your cousin. You got kicked off the police department. Fuck you,
wow.
man. I did.
Wow.
I quit. No, you didn't. My cousin knows you. I was
you
like,
didn't.
what am I watching
They had
here?
the whole history.
Yeah, and then my
Jeez.
Lyft driver pulled up. It was like a 1997 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, Avalon.
Yeah,
Like something they don't make
Right.
anymore.
I said, get me out of here. Get me out of this Sanford and Son place. So anyway,
Hey, we should go behind the.
All right.
We're gonna go behind the
Listen.
beaded curtain.
everybody, please hit the stupid like thing.
Hit it.
Share it.
Smash it.
Blah, blah, blah. Just do anything you can do, especially if it's just free. You know what I mean? Just
Rate, comment, subscribe.
Yes. Rate. Is that what they say? Rate.
Yeah, rate, comment,
Okay.
subscribe.
Rate, comment, and subscribe. And then we're going to have Howard on. I'm going to reach out to Laney. Now that we're back in the
We're
studio,
back, baby.
we can sort of, it was fine. It was
Mhm.
fine at the time doing it on that couch, but we're back now. So we are going to jump over to the Patreon show, which is also our member show for our YouTube members. So thank
If you
you.
want to
to-
become a member real quick, you can
do it.
actually watch it live. It's about to happen. Otherwise, if you're a Patreon patron,
I'm going to, I don't mean to tickle Adam's ass with a feather, but I want to ask Adam a few questions about his polyamorous lifestyle that he's currently embarking on.
I'll say dabbling in.
Dabbling in. I don't know.
Dabbling.
I don't know. I think if you, you what is it like? You put out one fire, you're a firefighter. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
I think
I think this is the hard launch. We had kind of dabbled in the past.
Yeah,
And there was a
well,
soft launch.
yeah, I want to,
This is
I-
I'm okay to
Okay.
talk about now.
Okay.
I think
I
so.
will. Hopefully we'll do it in a way that is, we're respectful of everyone's,
Mhm. And Nick says, plug the clips.
yeah. Oh shit. Fuck. Sorry, Nick. And of course, at Brian M Show, Nick is our friend who makes clips for us. Very, very talented. The last two
Mhm.
clips he made were really great.
Yeah.
And so that's it. And if you see the clips, then share the fucking
Share
clips.
the clips.
And that's it. And if you do that, then that would be great. So share the clips and share this and share that and join this and join that. And that's it. Okay. So everybody, we will
Okay.
see you next Friday. Thank you so much. Have a great night.